Well, if we can actually do this tour, I think it will be explosive because people have such a hunger for it now, including us, of course. I think it will be monumental. I have all my fingers crossed that we can do it in the right way. I don't think this war against the virus is over yet. I really don't. And I don't approve of the way our government has handled it. Problems all around the world, everyone has treated it differently. But I think we brought a lot of the deaths on ourselves by making the wrong decisions. And this time now is no exception. We have this new variant. It's very successful at propagating. And everybody's thinking, oh, yeah, but we're all vaccinated. We're okay. Well, we're not okay, because I know plenty of people in this country who have been double vaccinated but have got very sick from the new variant. So I see the curve going up, and I think this is the wrong time to relax. Hopefully, if we're spared, and God willing, next May we take off and we resume where we took off. But I think there will be an extra energy level, a massive influx of craziness. It will be crazy. It's got to be. Just to be there, just to be doing it. It's like, it doesn't even matter what we play. It just to be there will be the most incredible thing. I don't know if my body will cope. Well, the last time I saw him, he was confined to bed. He was quite peaceful. I think he was a little sad that he could no longer get up and look out of his window into the garden. And me and Anita, my wife, went to see him. We took him things. If I went to him, I always took him something. I remember taking him the tape of the Mike Myers Bohemian Rhapsody clip, the Wayne's World clip. We took that to Freddie and he listened to it and smiled and really enjoyed it. But on this occasion, we were talking about various things and we talked about the garden. And Freddie said, all of a sudden, he said, Brian and Anita, he said, you don't have to entertain me. You don't have to talk. I'm very happy that you're here and we can enjoy this moment. So don't feel like you have to do anything for me. I'm at peace. I think a very inspiring thing for him to say, because he knew he didn't have very long and he was happy just to share the moments in a kind of spiritual way. I never heard him complain. I really didn't. He had so much pain and so much disability from this horrible disease. I never heard him get resentful. Never. It wasn't long after that we were that we got the word, we got the phone call, that he's gone. And then it was like a thunderbolt, because although we knew it was coming, we didn't believe it. And suddenly it was there and we couldn't believe it. And John and Roger and myself got together and we sat in a room and we put on the TV, and on the TV, the news came on and they said, tonight, Freddie Mercury passed away of AIDS. And we all kind of gasped, because only then did we believe it. It suddenly seemed like it actually was real, and it was just mind-blowing. And our whole world was shattered, obviously. And although we should have been prepared, I think we weren't. I think also the tribute concert made a big difference to the way the gay community was viewed, because there was this stigma before that. And a lot of people have said to us that concert made a big leap in the way people understood the gay population and also what AIDS actually was. And we've kept on that. We keep the Mercury Phoenix alive, and we contribute to AIDS charities around the world. To be truthful with you, we never cared whether Freddie was gay or not. We come from that place where it really doesn't matter. All that matters is the music, the passion, and the friendship. Those things don't make a difference to us. I guess we come from that generation. So sometimes we look a little quizzically when people get very picky about the way people talk. I actually believe that you can't change people's hearts by changing their vocabulary. It would be nice to think you could, but I don't think you can. I think, sadly, racism, in spite of it being pushed down, is too much alive. There is too much racism still in this world. but I don't contribute to it. I feel that everybody comes genuinely as equal, genuinely as someone that you interact with as a human being. Things are very different now, of course. Yeah. And Adam is able to be very open. Freddie actually wasn't closed. If people asked him about being gay, he always answered in the affirmative. But Adam has this whole discourse, and I mean,
Mhm.
Adam is a crusader as well. Adam is a campaigner. So it's very important to him. And we sort of joke around things in the band. You know, we don't take things ultimately too seriously because again it's all about the music. Sometimes I say to Adam, you know, oh, you've got to get over being gay, you know, just concentrate on the music, you know. And he goes, no, I'm a warrior. And you know, I respect that, of course, but when we're on stage, we are a band and we are a cohesive force, and it's organic, and it doesn't matter your color, your race, your sexuality. It really doesn't matter. It's something very emotional, incredible, because, you know, our languages are quite different, our cultures are quite different. And for all these people out there to be singing our language and our song with such a passion as well, it's been something incredible. And I think we have a great bond. Love of My Life was never a single. You probably know this in Europe or America, but in South America, because of Rio and because of Brazil and Argentina to an extent, it became
Mhm.
one of the biggest things in our history. It's something amazing. It makes us feel very emotional. And you see this in the film. A nice scene. I like that scene. It's very nice. It was completing a circle. It was very important to me because I left astrophysics, or astronomy as it was really known then, at a point where my thesis was 95% done. And I always felt it was a shame that I didn't manage to complete the thing. I spent 2 extra years trying to do it, but in the end, I had to hold my hands up and say, okay, I can't do this. And I went off to play with that band called Queen. And so I was always in touch with astronomy. And there came a time when I was actually writing a book with Patrick Moore, who's a very famous astronomer in this country and has inspired generations. And he said to me, Brian, you could get your PhD, you could go back and finish it. And I said, Patrick, I can't. My head doesn't work that way anymore. He said, nonsense. Of course you can. And so I mentioned it in an interview. I said, you know, I'm considering doing some astronomy again. And I got a phone call the day after the interview was published from the head of astrophysics at Imperial College, London, where
Mhm.
I had started the PhD 30 years before. And Professor Michael Rowan Robinson said, if you're serious about this, you want to go back and finish your PhD, I will be your supervisor. Come and do it. So it's an offer nobody could refuse. My great concern is truth, because it's very hard to find truth now, and it's just as easy to get people to believe the lies as it is the truth. In fact, maybe it's easier, and it bothers me very greatly. And it's also very difficult to have free speech because people will come down on you and destroy you if they disagree with your point of view, rather than arguing and regarding you as a human being to have a discourse with and have an interaction with. They will hold you down. And I find that very, very unhealthy. I like a society which is forgiving and understanding and has room for different opinions. I think that's the healthy way forward. So truth, I think, is a casualty of the 21st century. How do you find it? It's so easy to tell a lie and make it convincing, more convincing than the truth. I think is it's not so much in the way they influence each other, but in the way they influence your mind. The process of discovery and of opening the mind to understand the universe is not so different from opening your mind to letting music come in exploring music. My feeling is that the two things became too separately. Art and science became two separate things which can never meet. And I think that's kind of injurious to the human spirit. The people that I admire most, perhaps, are the Victorians, and they didn't have that idea. All the great scientists were musicians, all the great musicians were astronomers. They were all blended together. And when the great exhibition of 1851 was put on, it was the works of all nations. It wasn't art and science, it was the works of all nations. That might be a complicated answer to your question, but I believe it. I think the aim in my life is to be as rounded as I can, to be as broad as I can. And I never want to let go of my music, and I never want to let go of my science. I love to do these little projects with various teams from NASA and ESA. I love it, yeah, because I do Victorian stereoscopy for the 21st century astrophysicists, and it works, and they all love it. So I treasure my relationship with these people, like the New Horizons team that went to Pluto. These are the most incredible bunch of people you could meet, and they're all into music, which is great. And I guess I bring something a little different into their lives, but I bring the stereoscopy, and it works. When you see something in stereo, in glorious 3D, like a planet or a moon or a comet, you have a different feeling about it. It's like you could touch it, feel it, you understand it much better. And I feel like I'm able to make a little bit of a difference in that community, which makes me very happy.